Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of the Biblical Cinematic Universe. My name is Jason Major, and I'm your host. As I said, I'm going to be sort of doing different types of Bible movies all throughout the ages and focusing on them either from a historical standpoint or from the cinematic standpoint or even just from a biblical standpoint of saying what do they show from the Bible that was biblical. And today I decided that since it's July, well, Christmas in July, right? So I picked the Nativity, the life of Jesus Christ. Oh, what a find. Okay, so spoiler, let's get this right out of the way. If you're looking for a movie that is cinematically going to stand the test of time, they include, like set side by side movies like Ben-Hur, 1959, the Charlton Heston, Ten Commandments, even Jesus of Nazareth, the epic miniseries by Franco Zeffirelli, Passion of Christ, and these other biblical all-time epics of all time. Jesus Christ Superstar. This is not for you. Second of all, if you're saying hey, I saw that in a $5 bin. Would that be a passable movie, Exodus, Gods of Kings, or, King of Kings, depending on how you feel. I like King of Kings, but some people think it's kind of boring. Greatest story overtold, the Bible miniseries by Robert Downey Jr. Hey, it's in the $5 bin. It's Christmas time. Should I pick this up? Oh, no. If the only people who want to continue to watch this video is those like me who either, one, love Bible movies, and B, love guilty pleasures. This is the movie, a rare find in that category. It exceeds beyond any expectation. Now, to give you some context, I have over 26 Bible movies. And I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot from the 1940s, and I got some movies that are you can have these little short films that are from the 1940s, and some are good, in my opinion, good. But I can see some of them as kind of boring or not that great, especially when you look at them from today's standards. This, though, is icing takes the cake. Essentially, from what I can tell, from Googling and everything, this movie it's called The Nativity, the Life of Christ. Right there, you're like, what? Pick a movie title, you know what I mean? And it's basically 3 chunks. First chunk is the Nativity story, and then it does show the boyhood, when he's 12 years old at the temple, and then cuts really jarringly to the beginning of Jesus' ministry, and then again, the last half is really jarringly the last end of the ministry. This movie succeeds to be a minus, Mystery Science Theater 3000 type of movie in so many levels. Okay, now why? One is based on what I could find on the internet, is that this is actually Bridgestone Multimedia Group. Basically, it seems what they did is they basically cut and pasted from a bunch of Mexican films. I'm not joking you. And what I could find was not that they just they redubbed a Spanish Bible film and redubbed it into English. No, from what I can find, this movie is 91 minutes, for example. One of the Mexican Jesus film that this is based on is over 2 hours. So it's cut and paste, and it has this narration in the beginning that's clearly 1980s. They basically went into a desert and said, here's a bit of footage of a desert, and at the end it's footage of a desert, and it's just so, okay, first of all, you have narration. Second of all, you feel like the people, the acting of the film itself. It's hard to tell because obviously I'm not watching the original version with subtitles, which would be interesting to watch, I think. And I'd have to find it and see if I can find anything redeemable with that. But even that acting seems seems obviously wooden, but comparable to what Jesus films would have been in the 60s and 70s in terms of the way they express Jesus and all that. The way this movie's edited is terrible. It just jars from scene to scene, and it's a patchwork of like, oh, let's clip these scenes together for reasons unknown. To give you an idea of the funny dialogue in this movie, there's a scene where you have Mary and Joseph, and they're in Bethlehem with toddler Jesus. He's about 3 years old, I guess, and King Herod hasn't found it yet. But you know the historical context, you know the story. And so when Mary comes in and says, with a straight face, says, and badly dubbed, she says, Joseph, I'm worried. Where is Jesus? And he says, true dialogue. Oh, you know what? I'm getting old. I mean, I should do more for you and the child. And now this. Literal dialogue from the movie. And then Jesus walks in and you're like, oh, Jesus, stay close to us. Don't play with the soldiers. No, Jesus, don't play with the soldiers. We should know this. And it's these kind of epic moments that just make it so laugh out loud for me. Even when, spoiler, Jesus dies. I mean, spoiler for a story that you should know by now. When Jesus dies and he's on the cross, he says, you hear this, and this dialogue just like wooded throughout, saying, Lord, commend me into your spirits. And it's just like, the guy who does the voice of Jesus' movie, basically, I feel like he did this. He was sitting there like arms crossed, and he was told, do a dubbing and get a paycheck, and he's like, and every line's like, blessed be, O Lord, who redeems you. Jeez, I am the spirit of the sovereign Lord is upon me. And it's just, all the dialogue is like that, like someone just reading it from a phone book. Like no expressive nature at all, no trying to even match the lines of this story. And then all of a sudden you cut and paste to, like, you see Jesus dying on the cross. And all of a sudden it just jarringly cuts to this desert scene that's clearly 1980s footage, and you see and your voiceover saying, and the woman found the body of Jesus. But you see no woman in the scene. You just see this empty tomb. And then they jar back to the old footage. The footage is not even like, I understand not being restored, but like, it's badly not restored. It looks like something like your VCR, if you still remember what those were, your VCR would have captured a better film quality than parts of this movie. And because you have parts of the movie that you're like this VCR like film quality, and then all of a sudden it jars to this 1980s film quality, neither of it is HD, of course. It's hilarious. And so what do I recommend it for? I recommend it as this to me is, it goes, I first when I watched it was like, I got a few laughs, and I was like, this could be funny. By the end of it, I was roaring. And I think that this is a great, like I said, the only one who's for is for those like me who are glutton for punishment and want to watch like a really, soak in like a really badly dubbed movie and see how badly you just can screw up. Probably an average or pretty good or decent foreign film, and it's really sad. Like, the foreign film version of this is probably pretty decent. So, who is it for? This is for the completist like me. The Nativity, the life of Jesus Christ. If you see it in a $5 bin, either grab it for people like me, or just toss it aside and go find something else. I'm Jason Major. This has been another Biblical Cinematic Universe.